Good evening, everybody. Kevin back from Watch This with Joe and Kevin. It is 2:53 in the morning, can't sleep, and so I thought I'd give another movie a go. I'm building a list of movies I want to check out, and this Touch of Evil is definitely on that list. So here we are. There's a lot of movies I want to do. It just kind of depends on how I'm feeling at the time when I'm laying there. The General and Dial M for Murder, Modern Times, Some Like It Hot. We've got the Maltese Falcon. Have a pretty big list. Actually, it came down to this movie and Dial M for Murder until I sat down and decided to go and record. The reason I went with this one is because there are elements of this, besides obviously the fact that it's a very, very popular classic film, that I haven't seen and need to. Like, outside of Psycho, this would be my first Janet Leigh movie. I don't think I've ever seen a Marlene Dietrich movie, and I know this is going to sound really bad, but I haven't actually sat down and watched an Orson Welles film before. And I know how that sounds because Citizen Kane. And the truth about me and Citizen Kane is when I was in high school, I was curious because even, centuries ago back then, it was considered by many to be the greatest film ever made. And so in high school, I checked it out from Blockbuster and wanted to watch it and see what all the fuss was about. And I made it about 20 minutes. I didn't get it. I was very bored and turned it off. And I haven't gone back to it again. And I really need to. But it was like me getting back into the Harry Potter books. Once you kind of false start, it's hard to start over sometimes. I had the same experience with Peaky Blinders. I made it an episode twice and haven't made it to the second episode of Peaky Blinders, and I'm sure it's great, just like Citizen Kane. So that's why Touch of Evil is here. I know nothing about this. I'm pretty sure it's a thriller. And obviously the controversy everyone alive knows. Controversy, it's very mild. Charlton Heston playing a Latino man. I don't know what kind of role or anything really beyond that. All I'll say about that is I'm not going to be in too big a huff over it. It's, in our modern times, we know it's not okay for a white actor to play another race, really. It doesn't really deserve a long conversation. Different times, I've never watched Breakfast at Tiffany's, but same deal. I'm sure that there's moments where it's like when you watch that, but times have changed. We've all learned. I don't know how malicious it was, but it's nothing I'm going to mention more while we're watching the movie. We all feel the same way about the idea of Charlton Heston playing a Latino man. Other than that, I've heard there's nothing but good things about this movie. It's gotten great reviews. It's still very popular. And again, it's the great Orson Welles. I assume great because I've never really watched him. I'm going completely off, hearsay of enjoying movies. So let us begin A Touch of Evil. Before we do, want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us and give a special thank you to Actuarial Lurker, Balash Foldes, Chris, Coincidence, Derek Peterson, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Sudigunda Varapu, Torgir Lingstad, and WearPanda47. Appreciate you being here, guys. If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else that we've watched or we're currently watching on the channel, check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On everything on Patreon, due to copyright law, you will have to sync a lot and watch along on your own source material. You are only going to see and hear me. Or us for stuff Joe's in. When I was a kid, I thought that was serious. I was scared of copying movies. I didn't want to go to prison. I do still have my Blockbuster card in my wallet. I can't bring myself to throwing it away. That is a bomb with an egg timer, it looks like. That's kind of a cool camera work there. Yeah. Oh, car bomb. Oh my god, this is great crane work here, isn't it? This camera has not stopped moving since we started. This is a really complex one shot, especially as wide and as big as the shot is. What'd be impressive is if Zsa Zsa Gabor's in this. What'd be impressive is if the car blew up still in the middle of this one long shot. I don't see how you do that. But okay, yeah, the car's off camera now. Is the couple we're following, is that supposed to be... Is that Charlton Heston there? I can't really tell. I don't know what he's going to look like in this.
His name is Vargas.
Hey,
Okay,
Jim.
that's Chuck. Okay.
See who's here? American citizen, miss.
No, I got this ticking noise.
Yeah, okay.
No, really.
Oh, so it's... Okay, so the bomb is... Yeah. At the border. Oh, yeah. By the way, that opening one shot was absolutely spectacular.
Why aren't you back in Mexico City? Isn't that dope trial coming up?
Grandy's? Yes, Thursday. I'd hope to go back in the morning.
That bomb came from the Mexican side of the border.
The car did.
Yeah, they both did.
Follow this boy at once. We have something very important for Mr. Vargas. I'd like to lose. Don't answer that.
Yeah, it's pretty shady.
Lead on, Pancho.
Well, here comes Hank at last. Vargas, you've heard of Hank Quinlan, our local police celebrity.
A lot of close-up shots here, like real close. It's a good introduction and entrance. Is he playing much older than he is? I thought he was younger than this at the time.
Quiet little tea party, all for Rudy Lennox's bonfire. Yeah, I hear he even invited some kind of a Mexican.
You won't have any trouble with me.
You bet your sweet life I won't.
And these close-up edits. This is intense.
Look at the pretty baby.
Mira el niño.
Okay, that was a setup on what that picture was.
My name is Grande.
Oh.
You've heard that name before, hmm?
Bolo ties are very weird to me.
And if you're trying to scare me into calling him off, let me tell you something, Mr. Grandy. I may be scared, but he won't be.
He wants to nerve your husband. Husband is jealous, senora.
You silly little pig.
I cannot believe that she's this bold.
I think it's time for him to lay off my brother in Mexico City.
Her sense of self-preservation isn't great.
Goodbye, all.
A lot of these shots are like low and up on the actors. It makes them look much bigger.
Where in the world were you?
Oh, my God. What happened? Just wait till I tell you.
Who's the Jane?
His wife.
Oh, how do you know? She don't look Mexican either.
Yeah, that's been a common theme since the movie started. How was that a thing?
I can't just walk away from all this. I've got some questions of my own to get answered.
He does not have an accent at all, does he? You gotta doing the old soft shoe, because otherwise you should be able to hear him.
Yes?
Oh, wow. Tried the old acid attack.
No, I just couldn't catch him.
Some really, really cool cinematography in this. Oh, okay.
Have you forgotten your old friend?
Oh my god, that was creepy.
I didn't recognize you. You should lay off those candy bars. What can I offer you?
You haven't heard anything about that bomb, have you?
That happened on your side of the border.
Well, when this case is over, let's come around some night and sample some of your chili.
Maybe too hot for you.
That's a really good line. I don't feel like harassing the guy's wife is really going to have a great payoff.
See any better this way?
Just shut the window. I respect the independent streak, but this seems dangerous.
Who told you to thrash it at Vargas?
Yeah.
Stop him!
I was wondering who told him that. Yeah, it's like, was this an order from the Grande?
Who is the boss of this family? Who is the boss?
My old man. All right, you.
See?
I just wanted to give that wife of his something to think about on the honeymoon.
Oh my god.
If Vargas gets hurt, what happens? My brother Vic is just as good as convicted.
Yeah.
Quinlan has a lead. I'm sorry. I have to meet him. Now,
You two need to seriously talk.
But now I think the best thing is to stick close to my husband.
So what, the scandal level of that photo is keeping her?
He's got a young bride. He's gonna leave this town wishing he and that wife of his had never been born.
I thought you'd like.
Not just now. It's past 7 and I haven't been to bed yet.
I'm the night
Had the day man help me make the bed.
There ain't no day, man.
Was that Dennis Weaver? Kind of looked like him.
Yeah, a boy named Sanchez? Sure. He's been playing around with the boss's daughter.
Suspect now in custody at 5.
Well, this is it.
Suspect? Is that the one you've been talking about, the Sanchez? Captain, have you anything definite on this boy Sanchez?
Not yet. I'm just going on my intuition.
I really need to know how old he was when he made this.
I'm Manolo Sanchez, and I haven't got any attorney.
You two been sharing this apartment?
I must explain. Also, he told me he thinks he's in for some sort of third degree. I assured him he had nothing to worry about.
That's good.
Well, even back in the old days, we never tried to hurt people in the face. It marks them up.
Boy's getting a rough deal. He could even be innocent, you know.
It's quite an apartment for a shoe clerk. Who pays for it, Marcia?
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
Didn't you bring me any donuts or sweet rolls?
They're really leaning into his eating habits, his weight.
Uncle Joe Grande, why'd you bring him in here?
For some crazy reason, he was following me in his car.
Why would I be following a cop? He's an idiot.
Maybe because you thought he was a Mexican cop. He was driving Vargas's car.
Yeah, good.
You're right. So I thought I was following Vargas. So what? It's a free country.
It's a free country. It's suspicious behavior, too.
You're the only guest we got here just now.
I just wanted to make sure I wouldn't be disturbed.
Don't you worry, Mrs. Vargas. I'm the one who's in charge here.
Oh. It's kind of like this might have led to a role in Psycho. The creeper at the hotel.
Yeah, what did you do, boy?
Well, you know what I did, Captain Quinlan. Marcia and I made a bomb.
Don't you see you don't help yourself by treating this as a joke?
Yeah, the sarcasm is not going to go your way in this kind of thing.
Well, Pete, since you're here, I wish you'd search the place. I'm, too tired to go on with it. Uncle Joe Grande, another Grande. Yeah, you nabbed his brother on a narcotics rap.
Yeah.
Don't know this Grande.
Yeah.
Really should have talked to his wife about this.
What is it,
found
Pete?
it.
Found what, partner?
Come here and look.
Now, in English, just how much dynamite was it you stole?
Was the empty shoebox supposed to be like proof that there was dynamite in it?
Stole 10 sticks of dynamite?
No!
I like how they're focused on Vargas here for this.
What?
If that dynamite had been a snake there in the bathroom, it would have been.
He planted evidence?
And that leaves 2, and we found them both. You heard that, boy.
Oh, come on.
I never stole any dynamite.
You say you found this dynamite in the bathroom.
So Dirty Cops is our story here?
Well, what are you scared of, partner? That stuff isn't nearly as easy to...
Okay, I was wondering why they focused on the shoebox that got added later.
I looked in that box. Just now, there wasn't anything there.
You go right ahead and say anything you want to. Folks will bear your natural prejudice in mind.
I saw that shoebox 10 minutes ago.
The shoebox was empty. Go on saying it's empty. Folks will understand.
I'm saying more than that, Captain. You framed that boy.
Framed him!
Yeah.
What's the matter with him, Hank? Is he crazy?
Yeah, that must be Ed crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
Somebody's going to have to give in on this thing.
Either that or somebody's going to be ruined.
Yeah. No one's going to miss 2 sticks of dynamite.
We are both after the same exact thing.
Yeah, I thought we were going here that Grande was going to work with him to kill the guy.
Somebody's reputation has got to be ruined. Why shouldn't it be Vargas's? Have a drink.
I don't drink.
It's true. Get him a candy bar. Well, his partner seems to not like this team up, but, I mean, he planted the dynamite. Whatever they're doing with Janet Leigh's character here, they're really playing the long game. I'm assuming that she's part of the scandal to ruin his reputation.
In your country also, when explosives are purchased, some record is kept, no?
Sure. We're going to the right place to look it up.
And there's still the issue of who actually set off the bomb.
I brought it. Some of the other guys got more.
Hypo?
Well, you were a little early, ain't you?
I thought I'd better come by and see if the news...
I always loved tough youths in 50s movies.
Yes, ma'am?
Get me state 1212.
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Vargas, but the telephone is temporarily out of service.
So I take it with the bouncing around and everything, they're supposed to be high.
Vargas can't hurt me.
Maybe not.
I don't make deals.
I mean, it sounds like you're kind of going along with it.
I didn't give me any answer yet.
So he is drinking now.
In this thing, we're partners, see?
That's
Make
cool.
them nice and
The
big.
camera work is so good here. Did he drop her off? Does she not have a car?
Where's this so-called document?
Perhaps we'd better go to my room.
Yes, by all means, yes.
Mexican is bringing criminal charges against one of the most respected police officers in the
Yeah,
country.
but he's a criminal.
17 sticks. Black fox brand. To H. Quinlan.
Quinlan needed dynamite for work on his ranch.
Oh my God.
You know what the boys are trying to do, don't you? They are trying to get in there. They went to get the master key.
We gotta break
Vargas is telling the chief and the DA that you planted that dynamite.
He was a
Yeah.
fool. Did I ever tell you the smart way to kill Pete?
Sure, strangle. You told me all that.
That's how
Come
my
on,
wife
finish that
died.
coffee.
I don't usually talk about my wife. That half-breed done it, of course, we all knew.
Oh my God, man.
Pete, that was the last killer I ever got out of my hands.
Hank Quinlan never took a dollar in his
Most
life.
are honest, yes. But even some of the honest men abuse their power in other ways.
Our job is tough enough.
It's supposed to be. It has to be tough. A policeman's job is only easy in a police state.
Well, that's a good line.
Where's your wife?
What do you...
Oh, so he is working along with Grande.
He's just asking, Hank. Hank!
30 years, pounding beats and riding cars. I won't take back that badge until the people of this county vote it back.
Oh, this is really good manipulation here.
Where can I find the records of Quinlan's old cases?
I'll show you.
You're not going without this.
Yeah, it was a good show.
What do you really know about this Vargas? He's a drug addict.
Oh my
Got
God.
that young wife of his hooked too.
Oh, so that's the plan?
If I hadn't seen that hypodermic myself.
Hypodermic? You saw it?
I just said so, didn't I?
Oh my God.
You don't mean he's mixed up in this dope racket himself? Hank.
Oh my God, why is she still in the room? Oh my God. This sucks. This is actually going to happen, isn't it? This is dark, man. It's really creepy the way this is shot with these low angles, real close-ups in these guys' faces again.
Hold her legs.
Oh my God!
Close the door.
That's so grim. Oh, that poor woman.
What are you doing?
You'll find out tomorrow morning.
I want to know now. What's all this?
Records of every case where you or Quinlan uncovered the principal evidence. The defense denied the existence of that evidence. Are you telling me you never planted any evidence, Sergeant?
Of course not. All these years you spent
All these
building up
years he's
a
been
reputation.
planting evidence.
Framing suspects.
That's a lie. Ruin his whole life's work. That's what you've done to him.
What I've done to him.
Yeah.
What about Quinlan, Sergeant? What's he done?
Yeah.
What about all those people he put in the death house? Save your tears for them.
Man, this is really good writing.
Nobody been registered all week.
There was that party.
Party? What party?
Cabin number 7.
Maybe go check on your wife, man.
One of them wine parties. You know the kind?
I hope there's about 15 people in prison by the end of this movie.
This can't be my wife's room.
This ain't her clothes, huh? Some here.
My gun! I had a gun in this case!
Well, she should have had the gun on her.
What would I want with a gun? Well, somebody wanted it!
Who do you think this belongs to, anyway?
Where are they?
Oh, is his wife, like, missing? I thought she might have been taken to another room.
Rancho!
Rancho Grande!
Yeah!
You're gonna need another gun. Oh, man.
You got her under arrest?
Yeah, we have got more reefer stubs around. We blew the smoke in her clothes, that's all. Like you said.
When she wakes up, she's gotta think maybe something really did happen.
Okay, so they didn't actually do it. It says they made her think she did it. That would make me feel better, as horrible as this all is. Oh my God, what a slime ball.
Nobody can see you up here.
You sure?
Of course I'm.
What the hell is he doing?
Hey, what are you doing?
I brought you up here for a reason.
I don't get it. You're a cop making an arrest.
Well, the vice boys will do that.
What's that for? If you turn me in, I'll have quite a story to tell.
He's gonna kill you, man.
Hello, Pete. Any news yet?
Sanchez still hasn't broken. Vargas, his wife?
Oh, well, one of the boys that was on this wild party gave me the buzz, see? Just relay it to the vice boys is anonymous. And the way I hear things got a lot of control. Don't be surprised what they find.
Is this where he chokes him out because that's the perfect murder? God, this is shot really well, isn't it?
You left.
No, don't.
Should have fought back harder than that when he was coming in. It'd be harder for him to get away with it if he had a broken nose. The music and the lighting in this is great. Just really chaotic. A lot of cacophony. Moving lights, flashing lights, and just noise. Oh, God. That is gross. Oh, I think he hit somebody. Beat that whole table down. Okay, I guess he doesn't really know any of these guys. He didn't see the guy who threw acid at him there.
Pues que quieres, señor, eh?
You have no idea how much you need to beat this guy. Him. You saw him, right? Yeah. Okay, he does recognize him.
I'm finished.
Nice.
I'm finished. Where's my wife? My wife!
Charlton Heston's a big dude.
The charge isn't just possession of narcotics.
What is it then?
Murder.
Come on. I guess in a dirty town with dirty cops, you can kind of do anything.
Susie. Darling. It's all right now, Susie.
It's all down in the report. I found evidence of a mixed party.
Something else could produce the same effects. Demerol, for instance, or sodium pentothal.
Take me home.
Yes. Susie.
Yeah, man. Your boss sucks. Yeah. At some point, it's too far. Oh, he left a cane up in the room?
I found it in the hotel room.
He's so drunk he didn't even think about it.
The doc says it was only that true stuff.
Sodium pentothal.
Yeah, no harm.
Okay, so she wasn't even... They didn't even really drug her.
Schwartz is driving your car across the border.
What's my fortune?
Jail.
Come on, read my future for me.
I'm curious about this myself, and I don't believe in tarot cards.
You haven't got any.
That I believe.
Your future is all used up.
That's good. So taped confession. Actually, I don't even know if there's taping it. I think it might just be a... I don't know if they're recording or if it's just like a walkie-talkie. It's a mic.
Come on out, Hank. I'm tired.
Who told you to come here?
I'm tired of waiting, Hank. You got to answer, Hank. All kinds of things. First, about Vargas's gun.
How do you know about the gun?
Yeah. The electric lines here.
Does that explain that thing you're carrying around now?
Yeah.
Cool. That thing you're wearing? That halo.
Yeah?
Oh.
Looks real pretty on your feet.
I thought you could tell he was carrying a mic.
Sometimes you can turn into a crook yourself. Look what happened with Grandy.
Partner, nobody ever called me a crook.
Well, yeah, you're worse.
Look up there. See? That oil pump.
This is really good misdirects here.
If it wasn't for him, you think I'd be in a situation where Grandy could blackmail me? And then, of course, when I had to defend myself...
Hank yourself, Hank, you must be crazy.
Sure.
You murdered Grandy.
I left my cane by his body. That was short crazy.
Come on, Hank. How many did you frame?
I told you. Nobody. Nobody that wasn't guilty.
Yeah, of course.
Just like the dynamite with Sanchez. Just like you planted that dynamite.
Don't you think Sanchez is guilty?
Oh,
He's
the
guilty,
echo.
he'll confess.
Uh-oh.
Look at that.
Turn it down.
Hank, I got to have to...
Shut up.
Cover the mic, or the speaker, man.
I got a hunch.
Why, Vargas, why should he...
You sound kind of nervous, Pete.
Oh, God.
Hey, are you carrying a bug for him? A microphone?
Hank,
Don't lie to me.
All right. No, you better give me that gun.
Where is he?
Better give me Vargas's gun.
It's okay, here it is.
Give it to me.
Vargas!
Yeah. That's body 2, Mr. Good Cop.
Well, Captain, I'm afraid this is finally something you can't talk your way out of.
Yeah, no kidding.
You want to bet? You killed him, Vargas.
Come on now. Give me my gun back. You think anyone would believe that?
They always believe me. There wasn't no miss, Vargas. That was just to turn you around. I don't want to shoot you in the back.
Oh, good. A little redemption there at the end.
I've got it all on tape. You sure you got enough? More than enough. Go play it back, you'll see.
Okay, so he was recording, which is good.
All these years you've been playing me for a sucker. Faking evidence.
Aiding justice, partner.
It's all over, Susie. I'm taking you home. Home. That's the second bullet I stopped for you.
Yeah, she was right. No future.
He framed that Mexican kid Sanchez, but he didn't even need to. The kid confessed about that bomb. So, it turns out Quinlan was right after all.
That's quite a twist.
He was some kind of a man. What does it matter what you say about people?
Goodbye, Tanner.
Adios.
I wouldn't mind every single one of the kids that grabbed and kidnapped and drugged her to also be incarcerated. Man, what a slow burn and build that into pure chaos. That was absolutely fantastic. It started off as a fairly routine procedural. I didn't have a lot to say early on, other than the fact that the camera work was utterly fantastic in this, right? A lot of really, really cool, like the oneer that kind of opened, the long tracking shot through the town, along with the car until you get to Charlton Heston, and Janet Leigh, kind of right up until the car clears the screen before the explosion. Through a lot of the camera work in terms of like the close-ups and the low angles, which was used a lot. I'm not really sure why, although I will say it really worked during some of the more menacing scenes for me, because it just had the sense of like overbearing gloom over the movie, particularly when it was either on Orson Welles or when it was on the gang that worked for him that was going into basically kidnap and attack Janet Leigh. The kind of askew Dutch angles, along with the low camera angles up at the faces, really gave a menacing feel to those characters. Now, they did do it a couple times, or at least early on Charlton Heston as well. And obviously there's a completely different sense because it's a completely different character on what that did. So I'm not really sure about why so much on him that was shot in that way. It was definitely a unique look. But I thought it was most effective on Orson Welles himself, as his character kind of went farther and farther when he started drinking, when his whatever little moral compass he had started going awry, when it became more and more clear that he was losing control of himself. That's when we saw more of it, like when he went into the tarot card reading. That's when we got a lot more of the, not just the lower camera angles, but the camera kind of being slightly askew on him, which really I felt like emphasized just how disjointed from reality the character was. Again, really fantastic visual storytelling, but I'll have to think a while on what it did, and maybe go back and look at a couple of scenes when the low camera angles were also on Vargas, because I don't feel like, I mean, obviously it's a completely different character in terms of their sanity and morality, but the effect that had. But man, the build and I feel like a lot of anti-hero films now do this a lot. This like everything kind of slowly spiraling out of control. Like you can kind of, I love a story like this where you can kind of watch the steps, right? Of the setup is good in terms of like, okay, here's my first little mistake that I make. Here's the first time I do something I shouldn't really do or make a bad choice, and then I compound it and compound it and compound it, and by the time the story's done, there is no turning back. Everything's completely out of control, and I feel like that gets done a lot now, particularly in crime stories. But it was done with really great effect here, and I liked it simply because what made this one unique was you didn't have a moral character who makes a mistake and then kind of spirals, is really a common trend now. What you had was an immoral character who had made the same mistake many, many times. It's just that he got caught, or he got tripped up in this mistake this one time, and then he spirals and compounds it with increasing number of bad decisions. I won't call them mistakes because, I mean, it's in the title. They were purely evil decisions that he was making. Leading to the his inevitable death, and even, I think, even a bigger deal, his destruction of his reputation, which seemed to be much more important to him. There wasn't, I don't know how much I was supposed to sympathize or empathize at all with the police detective, simply because his wife had been murdered, and I feel like, okay, there's a reason why he's such a lost sad sack, right? Why he needs to stay away from the alcohol or things get really bad. But I didn't really have much sympathy for the guy at all. He went along really quickly with this trying to destroy these two people's lives. Particularly, I mean, fine, Vargas is your enemy. He's your problem. You want to destroy him, fine. But to do it by destroying his wife, somehow that makes it worse. Because she is, like, obviously Vargas is innocent, but she's even more innocent, as in she's not even part of this world at all. Yeah, it was a really, really series of dark turns, kind of leading to that inevitable conclusion. I feel like Will's partner getting killed also, He's a more sympathetic character. I'm not really sure, based on the conversation he's having with Wells there while he's recording. He says, "I found the evidence that you planted. I found the evidence you planted." And there's two ways to take that, right? Either he really didn't know that all of this evidence was being fabricated and he was just sent in to find it, or he did know. He was complicit in all of these all this planning evidence and all this illegality, and because it was being recorded and he wanted to walk away, he's like, "I had no idea this was going on. You were doing these evil things." Just trying to get a confession out of Wells, who, by the way, was ultimately the worst guy. But there's a real chance that there was a breaking point there, right, where the sergeant went along with him on all of this because he was getting the bad guys and doing good police work, even though, like, let's face it, you're really talking yourself into it and squinting at it pretty hard from that deal. And then the stuff with the wife, right, and with the first murder of Grande might have just been a bridge too far, and that's when he's like, okay, we've gone too far. We really need to walk this back. This isn't okay. So I'm not really sure where the sergeant was in terms of how complicit he was prior to this, but I think he's the one who planted the dynamite. Like, I don't recall Wells going in the room into a chance where he could have planted the dynamite, and for his partner to go somehow find in this shoebox right out in the open. But I was pretty sure the sergeant planted that himself. And I think it's an interesting choice at the end there. Maybe it's just to put a bow on it, but an interesting choice to have the hunch, the police officer's hunch, to be correct about Sanchez being the murderer overall in the bombing. It turns out he was right. Maybe that's just because we need to wrap this up and we don't. It's not really important that we have a different killer or that Sanchez is innocent. Just we need to make sure we tie off that loose end. Or we're still commenting on it doesn't matter if the guy's guilty or not. You still have to go about getting him the right way, and planting the dynamite was ultimately the wrong way to do it, clearly. Man, you really hope that some of the other people that they sent to death row were innocent or weren't innocent. Great script, great screenplay, really well photographed movie. I know I should at some point, as an adult person now, sit down and watch Citizen Kane. There's a reason why it's as beloved as it is. Even though I haven't really watched it, I do know that it's considered a technical marvel in filmmaking in terms of, again, camera work, which I'm sure had a lot of influence on the great camera work here. Wells clearly knew what he was doing with the camera. All right, well, it is now 4:41 in the morning, and I have a little time to sleep. Talk to you next time, guys. Thanks for being here.